All right, good morning. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Now, I don't normally make videos about COVID 19 or the Omicron variant, but I thought this would be an interesting topic because it's just starting. And I did a lot of reading this morning just to kind of see where things were going with this. So, for those of you who don't know, there's a new variant out there. There's been many, and this is one that is coming out of South Africa. And what's a little bit more unusual about it is it definitely has the potential to be a little bit more to spread farther out for more people. So it's a little bit more of a threat. So today we're going to be discussing the heavily mutated COVID-19 threat, better known as Omicron variant, and it's B.1.1.529. That seems to be the name they're giving it at the WHO and for CDC. I just want to be clear that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist or anything like that. I just want to talk about some of the general stuff. I do not want to turn this into something political or anything else. Just want to look at some of the possibilities going in the future. Okay, so we're not going to try to say sensationalize this. Good morning. By the way, this video is live. You're actually seeing me live right now around 10 in the morning, Texas. And you can chat with me in the window to the right if you're on a computer, laptop, or desktop, or whatever you've got. So I took some notes just to kind of save you guys some time after reading several hundred articles. What we do know right now is Europe, United States, and Canada are starting to close borders for people coming from certain parts of Africa. And the reason I find that a little bit alarming, I mean, just a small bit, is typically the bigger countries don't react as quickly. And so I found it. I'm starting to wonder if they know a little bit more than we do. But again, it's not a reason to be too worried as it stands now. So that being said, they only have travel bans by plane and so on from South Africa and other African nations. It's already been spotted, as far as we know, as far as how it spreads. It's already landed in Hong Kong, Belgium, and a few other African nations. So it's not very far spread as far as we know. Um, T, good morning. How are you? I'm just commenting on a few comments that are in the chat window. And Cat D Express, wow, yeah. So what caught my attention about all this? I know I'm reading a little bit from my own notes, but what caught my attention is we do not know whether or not it is highly contagious or not. What it looks like is what normally takes months for the last couple of versions, all the other versions took months, to spread. This one has spread very rapidly through southern Africa, and there, of course there could be a lot of reasons for that. I mean, if three-quarters of the population are not vaccinated, that could be a reason. If people went and got half the vaccinations, not the other half, but it's spreading very quickly, and we have no idea what the intensity of it is. It could be just like what we already have running around. It could be not much of anything. So we don't really know. We're still waiting to find out. I mean, this is literally hit national news in the last 24 to 48 hours, possibly longer than that. It's just when I caught it. So my concerns, I believe, are going to be in relation to what we've already seen happen around the world. Is if we were to have something different, and whether or not it was more intense or not, is what that would potentially do. And I think we're all thinking the same thing. I've got a job. Will I be able to keep it? And how big of an impact would that have on U.S. citizens, housing, economics, money, and so on? Because we truly don't know the direction this might go. If it is resistant, as some are suggesting, that could be bad news to a certain degree. However, I think that, when we first had COVID 19, we weren't prepared for that. And we certainly didn't have medical facilities producing vaccines. I think that we're doing a much better job now. I think that we could probably go at this within a month rather than a whole year struggling with it, because we did struggle with the first variant. So, since my channel is primarily about housing and low income people, and a lot of people that had income or now have been made low income, is truly the effect that this could potentially have, in this country. I don't want to see us be locked back down. I don't want to see all the people that were evicted and lost their homes and having to go through Congress to spend trillions more. So there are big consequences if this were to be one of those that had a highly contagious part to it element. And again, I just want to go back to the part where they talk about Canada, Europe, and the U.S. When I see this group of three react this quickly, it does raise some concerns. The U.S. government is not always transparent. I think we all know that, no matter what political side you're on. And so, why didn't they do the same thing with every other variant? And so when I see this happen, it does raise some. I feel like they know more than they're definitely telling us, or maybe they don't know enough and they're just quiet. So, God, the possibilities are just mind blowing. But I do know one thing: we don't need a repeat of what just happened. I don't think any of us are ready for that. And to be frank with you, for my clients in my channel, and in respect to what I do, um, dealing with Section 8 low income people, the people that a lot of people don't despise and other things because they're low income, the thing that I worry about the most is this could end up collapsing low income housing market. It could collapse housing authorities around the country. We could not go a second round with this. Things are already dire through this past year. For those of you that participated Section 8 program, vouchers, and so on. But if you don't know what that is, that's okay. Just skip this segment of the video. But if we were to do a rerun, even a partial, if it was half as impactful as the first, then there would probably likely be a collapse. And I don't want to sensationalize that, but we as a nation could not go through this again on the element where I'm speaking specifically about those of you on vouchers, low income housing, and so on. We just could not. The consequences would be very dire. It was pretty dire last year. I barely kept up with the virus and the consequences of the economy shutting down. And this is just one part. Most of you that are not in Section 8 and vouchers and all, you worry about being able to pay your rent, go to your jobs, and what we'll be doing politically in the country. And so I got up this morning thinking about this, and I said, I think that we should watch and see. I don't think we should believe everything we see on the news. I think that we should see the proof and the evidence, and I think there needs to be time to digest this stuff so we find out. But like a rocket ship, like the first variant, it happens, and the total consequence, bigger than anything, wasn't a loss of life. I mean, a lot of people lost their life with the last variant, the first original COVID-19, but the big consequence was trillions of dollars. The bigger consequence was 30 to 40 million people losing their home. So it's not so much about how killer a virus is; it's the after effect of what it does to a society. Closing down the countries, the bickering and across borders, and closing things down. We still can't even get half the shit out of our shipping lanes to put in stores, and all the other unusual things we had to do. I mean, it changed life, and I'm just not ready for a second round of this if that should be what it is. I think we'll have a pretty clear answer within a week or so. So I'm gonna take a look at a few comments and see what y'all guys are talking about. So, K. Cole, you're a busybody this morning. I see lots of comments from you, brother. You said, wow, peace and blessings. T says, greetings. I made it to the live. Yes, you did. I posted it for 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, Texas. It was a random video I just want to talk about this morning. Anyways, Cat D expresses, wow. T says, pandemic. Yes, correct. K. Cole says 100%. K. Cole again, thank you. And then Cat D expresses, we got to go ahead of the curve. Yes, true. And that's about it. Looks like just some mild comments. I didn't anticipate there are a lot of people that were going to be in this video at 10:30 in the morning, so I don't really feel bad about it. Not that many people view. So I think that I'll be watching the news closely because, anytime you have something that's highly infectious, we want to know what it can do. And then I'm not interested so much in whether or not it's going to kill people quickly, slowly, or not at all. I want to know how far this is going to spread so that I can see whether or not we're going to end up having to lock ourselves in our homes again, whether or not we're going to have to put Congress in session and generate more money this country doesn't have. So, I'm very divided, I guess. On what would happen. And the other result could be is, okay, well, there's an outbreak there. They solve it, and then that's the end of it. That would be fantastic news. That's what I'd like to hear. So we can all just move on. Because to be frank with you, if I never heard virus 19, COVID, or any of that again, I'd be just fine. But there's always that little possibility. And again, leaning back on Canada, Europe, and US, look, when this trio decides to start shutting off lights and different things, it usually indicates a red flag. They know something that they haven't explained to us yet. And then we all know the poor purveyor of news, all of them, shock and awe news. And so I don't tend to believe any of that garbage. I believe half of what I read with CDC and all that because, even though these are federal organizations, they're still politically run. I wish there was a party that had no party, if any party. That way I could actually trust part of what I'm reading. But I think the best thing for all people is to go out and just seek your own information, because we all have different belief systems. So we may not see eye to eye. I'm curious. I think there's some videos of curiosity to see whether or not this is going to go somewhere and do something, and will there be serious consequences to society and other nations, or will it just simply fizzle? And this was just another brilliant attempt by news agencies to pump up the news and get us all jiggling and moving about it. Like I said, it's only been prevalent. I think the date listed was February 9th. I mean, look, we've been into this 12 days. They don't know. Just so we're clear, nobody knows shit. CDC don't know anything. The WHO don't know anything. The people that are testing, the scientists in South Africa, don't know much. They only know that this particular Omicron variant has 30 different mutations, which is a large amount. And in some of those particular mutations would indicate that it is highly viral and spreads very easily. But spreads easily to who? To those that are vaccinated, those that are have vaccinated, those that are not vaccinated. So there's so many answers about it. I'll keep an eye, like the rest of you, to see whether or not this is going to be something that's going to tear up Europe and other nations. And I'm a bit concerned for the U.S. because we took the brunt force of all this the last round. And I'm wondering why Americans are so genetically susceptible to getting a virus. And like I said, in most cases, it ended up being nothing more than a little sniffle and a cold. There were serious consequences for a small fraction of people that died because they had other underlying health issues. But man, I tell you, I am not spending 2022 locked in the house, and I got to put another fucking mask on my face. Look, for me, I'm a big guy, and I have a hard time putting a bed quilt over roping that around my head, big bowling ball head. I understand what it could and could not do, and I really don't know that those fucking masks did that much of a deal, because if everybody doesn't do it, then what good is it? So, man, I guess we'll really find out when it comes to this Omicron. Um, and whether or not it's going to continue to mutate, because right now we've tested through 4 or 5 variations. This is the more serious. If they can prove that it is, we know that it has 30 mutations, which is extremely high. We already know that they know that pretty much they're certain to a certain point, but they're not willing to announce on the national level that is what it is. We don't know to what degree it makes a person sick. That's what it is. Do we think it's going to be deadly and it'd be a zombie outbreak? I don't think so. But I definitely think that this will probably just be something very similar to the last variations. I think that it'll just spread quicker. And one thing that's amazing and resilient about the U.S. is we got a lot of greedy pharmaceutical companies, and so they need no stimulation at this point. They're well prepared now to kick out vaccines quickly. In the beginning of the first pandemic, they were all eager to make money, and they certainly did suck the government tit on that one. But excuse my language, I'm not trying to be offensive, okay? But I got to tell you, man, they have all the equipment set up. They're fully armed and ready, and I don't think that it would take them 9 months to a year to be able to vaccinate if that's what was required, or even give a person a pill. So I think that we're well armed, 9 times better than we were pre-COVID-19. So I think that they could probably come up with a remedy fairly quickly. But, it really does depend on people's belief system. If half the nation decides that it doesn't want to participate in any version of a vaccine and other things, then this could go slowly. But the main thing is, I'm looking at the economics. I like most Americans, do not want to be forced into having to be locked down and other things of that nature because we have a big swell. I live in a big city where it was prevalent, Houston. Okay, it ain't New York, but we got hit pretty badly out here. Interesting thing is, I don't know who these specific people are. I never met them. So that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up. I just wanted to bring up the topic. There's so many possibilities. We can't confirm or deny anything other than the existence of it. Hopefully, in the next week or two, they'll break the news and let us know what's going to happen. But I am very on the fence about when the three big ones, U.S., Canada, and Europe, start cutting off flights preemptively like this. That they may know a great deal more about what's happening than they're letting on. Because again, we've looked at variants before. We weren't in any big hurry to stop flights. All of a sudden now it's become a national emergency. Another thing I want to bring up is the president got on TV. And again, I know some of y'all say, well, that's just how Democrats do it, all that. But thing is, we're seeing a lot of recognition right now for a variant, and we did not get behind other variants. So I do feel that this thing probably is contagious. I'm just curious to find out how contagious it'll be. Anyways, it's just talk, just guess, just guessing around here. I don't think anybody really knows, and we'll find out. All right, guys, I've enjoyed talking with you, and I hope the outcome's good because we don't need another shitty Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I know some of you like to have more stimulus checks, but look, there's a big cost to that, and we can't take much more of that on the federal budget. We're already in trouble as a nation. We may find ourselves in the next 50 years not being number one anymore if we continue to turn out cash like this and spending at absurd levels. Things could, or the future generation may be facing. We're number two or number three. We're already competing with nations like China and India that have populations 5 times ours. Those countries catch up, and they are able to produce a lot of money. That could be a new deal. And a lot of you also wear cryptocurrency. That's changing the game as well, but that's not for this video. So anyways, happy Thanksgiving for those of you that I didn't get a chance to say it to. If you don't believe in that, then happy fall leaves and acorns and squirrels. I'll see you guys again Sunday, and we'll be more on topic about low-income housing and all the struggles we're having around the country for those that are struggling financially to even get any housing or don't have a job and things have gone badly. Okay? Thank you for your time. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.